I think ultimately it it to a certain extent it doesn't matter how you do it, because I totally agree with what you're saying, that there are certain engagements where within a statement of work based contract, some of the outputs might be blocks of consulting time, blocks of time and materials
Yep.
effectively, which is perfectly legitimate within the right structure. Um, I think the key thing is that by not having the visibility, by not having the rigor, if you haven't got that, you're never going to be able to check that the reality of what you're paying for matches what was contracted. That's where things get a bit sticky, and that's where visibility is this kind of center point of, hey, look, you're paying for stuff, you should kind of know what you're getting and you know what's going on. But the thing that always occurs to me is when you look at this sort of thing, and look at the debate we're having and the conversation around this, the discussion, companies want to make it easy for the people that need to get work done within their organization to get that done. Like, their company's going to be pretty inefficient if the stuff that needs doing and the people that need to do it can't do it. They need to be able to either hire a permanent employee, or bring in an interim or a temp, or a independent contractor, or whatever it might be, or outsource it to a service provider to do the work. And so procurement, but where there's this kind of messy situation that's quite complicated, procurement and or contingent workforce stroke HR are either pushed out of the way sometimes, or feel they need to get out of the way because they can't handle the volume and the complexity of it. Um, but with that ease, you lose all the rigor. And that's the other side of it that's incredibly important. It feels like this constant trade off between ease and rigor, because the rigor within that organization might be, we put in headcount freezes for a reason. We don't want people bringing in, like, getting, paying to get this work done. We should be doing it with internal teams. So why the hell is all this stuff getting, squeezed out, where effectively this body shopping is happening in the background with disguised contracting being pulled in? That might be a reason why the company says we need rigor around this, or it might
Hmm.
be, a risk factor around misclassification, or it could be a safety critical industry where people are statement of work workers are under terrible contracts and really poor compliance, and they're working on um, uh, a road or a rail type situation. Um, that could be, a worker could get killed and they haven't got the provider hasn't got the right insurances, or the contract doesn't cover the liability, whatever it might be. So there's lots of things to kind of think about that, but it feels like this trade-off between ease and rigor in basically being able to get work done. Would you agree with that?
You can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want, right? So like yeah. Um, I love thinking in analogies, so I'm trying to think of the right one. I want to get to point A to point B as fast as I can. I can't just drive my car through my neighbor's yard. I have to go on the roads, and then on the roads I have to abide by the traffic laws, and then there's other people there, and I have to be mindful of them. There's so much stuff that we have in place because it allows us to do it. Maybe not as easy as we would like, but it's also, the idea of getting, depending on the size of your enterprise, 100 to 100,000 people to follow a standardized protocol. Well, it's so we have control and standardization around it. Now, is that standardization always the easiest way to get things done? No, but it allows us to know that the outcome and the way things are being done, it is it is all the same. And when you come down to things such as cost savings, compliance, and visibility, that standardization is super critical for that. And I think that's where this industry struggles, particularly around services-based work and procurement and statement of work, and there's no just easy way of getting all that savings, compliance, and visibility without dragging the process out. And I think that's something a lot of the providers are thinking about critically, of how could we drive down this time and make it easier, and um, enable the business to do what they need to do without creating so much red tape